All right, everybody, great to be back on a Thursday. Want to quick apologies on Tuesday. Technical difficulties. Could not make it, so there was no show. Hit the button, subscribe, hit the like button. Come on in here, settle in. Welcome if you're new. This is Harmonic Pattern Podcast number 238. We're going to have Mitch Ray in here today. Great to be back with Mitch. For everybody else, listen, get over to harmonictrader.com, become a basic member, and get with the software. So this is really, huge thing that I want to share with everybody right off the bat. There's so much to harmonic patterns that you can be confusing. But one of the things that I think is pretty clear, everyone that's in here understands, is that the whole reaction reversal concept is something that is, is phenomenal. It's incredibly interesting. But from a trading perspective, how's the actionability? And so we want to be able to have clear signals and indicators that really tell us where the things are going to move. So I literally just got my hands on this morning. And it is the auto identifier, the type 1, type 2 reaction reversal auto identifier for harmonic pattern collection. So this is not going to be ready for maybe another week, but everyone should get on the trial. If you haven't taken advantage of the trial, or if you want to subscribe, now's the time to do it. I'll be highlighting this a lot more to come, but I definitely want to tease it because it's incredible functionality. So imagine now if you're day trading and you want to know where the reaction is and you want to know where the reversal or the end of the reaction is going to be. So we have these new, here's QQQ on a 30-second time frame. Great for day trading, great for zero DTEs. And now we can really nail it down to where the sun icon terminal bar, okay, that starts the whole process. Most of you know that, but structurally, that helps us determine where we should be looking for reaction trades. And that marker, the A3, okay, I think that will change, but everyone should know that now we have nailed it to where we can pinpoint the end of the structural reaction to the price bar. Not only for target 1, but for the type 2 return and the type 2 reversal phase, which is this B3 indicator. All you really need to concern yourself with is look at the price bar where we're going to get the indicator, and then tell me what's happening to the right. All right, so many things here are in the software, and there's a lot to harmonic patterns. I'm not going to dismiss that fact, but the reason is the framework gives us a clear indication of overall trend, reaction, reversal dynamics, even indicator confirmation. But now I really think this is going to go a long way for everyone to where you say, okay, sun icon pattern switch is on. Okay, now I have an A3 indicator, or I have whatever the indicator is going to be. I now know that price bar is automatically marked. Okay, end of the reaction. Start looking for the return move. And then where does the real type 2 reversal begin? On that price bar. I really feel that precision's so critical for any trader. Whatever your level is going to be, whatever methodology you're going to use, your levels have to be precise. And that's huge. Really, I've been working on the logic for this of really what's the best way to approach it for a while. And this is going to be the basic version. Of course, we can lay over indication. There will be things that I'll say, hey guys, look for confirmation or obvious dot dynamics. But structurally, what these auto identifiers are going to do for you is turn you into a more of a mechanical trader where you are executing at precision levels and you're not sitting on your hands wondering. Okay, that's big. So guys, if you're not with the software, now's the time. I'm probably going to do a Labor Day promotion kind of a thing. You know, I don't do too many sales things, but the best way to do it is that just get with the trial, or if you're considering, contact me on Discord, okay, or send me an email, and we'll set you up with a discount and gold membership. So I'm going to bring that back on because I think it helps everybody to see the premium content. I know there's a bit of a learning curve, but this feature now. I mean, in fact, think about it this way. I just want to. I'm really just ranting here because I'm so excited about this. But let me just show you. If I turned off just the pattern, okay, or just the illustrations, and we just had the labels, okay, there's your bot. And what I just did is I'm going to put a bot that you guys could run your own harmonic bot off a TradingView. Final thing, I heard someone forwarded this to me. I appreciate that, whoever that was, that TradingView will have options data very soon. So you guys know I've been looking at options recently. Here's something I'm looking at right now for today, okay, into tomorrow. I had a shot earlier today on the Microsoft 330s. Didn't work out. Here's another play for a type 2 on Microsoft today, around 78 cents. That's for tomorrow's expiration, but we'll be doing that on TradingView. They'll have the data feed very soon on TradingView. But look at this, folks. I'm just really excited that we to see this iteration. This is the beta first version. Imagine what we'll do. But if we can have the exact price bars marked, your learning curve for harmonic patterns and to integrate these levels just became a magnitude easier. Arun is asking a great question. Does that mean we'll get alerts? Yes. In fact, we will want to trigger the alerts, say, hey, type 1 just began. Type 2, reversal, just started. Or imagine saying, hey, I've got type 2 with confirmation. Even better. And we get it down to the price bar. I mean, we've always been there, but we get it to the price bar. Right now, the QQQ on the 30-second, printing a nice bat pattern, a type 2 for today with some early levels here, 379.50. We're 379 at the moment. We're just rallied off of that perfect type 2. I mean, again, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This B3 level, okay, that's your type 2. That is the type 2 signal where, okay, 2 of 2, the reversal has begun. So absolutely stoked, is the word. Beyond. I really wanted to get this done now before the end of the summer. And we will have maybe some more complex things come into that, down to, marking ideal executions, statistical AI, analytics, find the best patterns, the best type 1s, the best type 2s. What's the percentage that these go to type 1? We know that type 1 reactions, this is 90% of the moves. You take 10 trades, 9 of them, do a type 1 move, and come on back. And then the type 2 is where your larger target 2 potential exists. So that's huge. I mean, that's huge. Other thing that's huge is a few more minutes. We're going to bring Mitch Ray in. It's been a little while. I can't even believe it'll be a year, October, that Mitch and I did the infamous Vegas live stream sponsored by Doers. Anyway, let me circle on back and take care of a little business. I want to congratulate D. Every Thursday we give away gold memberships, and I'll give away one volume 3 as well. So D, you won the gold membership. You need to get over to Harmonic Trader and get on the Discord. Okay, get down here. Discord link is at the bottom of the page, and contact Miss Stephanie. She will hook you up, and you will be able to come to the Zero DTE seminar on September 14th. All of that's included, especially if you sign up for the software or you recently purchased the software and you haven't connected with the gold membership. Again, get on Discord, send me a note. So great to see everybody. D, congratulations. What's up, Josh? It flies, it dies. Alex, Pat, Miss Stephanie is in the house, and Evan and Hawk, everyone else. What's going on today? Victoria. And here is the man himself, Mitch Ray, is in the chat. Big shout out for Mitch Ray. What's going on, Mitch? I'm going to bring him in a second. Mitch, let me just do really quick what's going on with the market on the QQQ and the SPY, and we'll save the Bitcoin conversation for Mitch. I just kind of wanted to show this. We had a 4-hour bat pattern, looked really ugly on the Qs. Basically, we're wedged between 360 and 380. 380 is target 2 right now, and we also are doing a connect the dots kind of Gartley. So looking for something up here, looking for some resistance to come in pretty soon. Your 4-hour time frame, just take a look. Amplified RSI trying to roll over, but this is still at a high level. Let's see what happens going into tomorrow. This is the big news for today, is that this little bump up that we're experiencing right now is pushing HSI higher into the range. So really want to focus on that, because the 4-hour bar will not complete until the close today. So this is, continues up until we can get some confirmation. There's a dot. You're close. 380, 382 against this summer high from the all-time high. You got a lot going on there. Final note, just take a look. You can probably see it clear on the weekly, or excuse me, on the daily. It is a Gartley structure. It's just not printing out yet. Last one. SPY is pretty much the same deal, but I think it's even less, 10 days since that reversal, even stronger than the NQs. But if we connect dots, it does suggest some kind of a bat pattern here. Like that B point at a 44 and then go to the 886. That's, 456, something like that. Okay, 1 second. Let me get Mitch in here. Be right back. Okay, 1 second. Let me see. He's here. All right.
Hey, can you hear me?
I sure can, Mitch.
Wow, this is like feels like a first where we don't have like at least a minor technical difficulty.
Yeah, well,
But
I was completely down yesterday. I think they used the hurricane as an excuse to take the day off at Comcast. But everyone, please give a shout out to Mitch Ray. It's our first live stream, I guess, since earlier in the summer, right?
yeah, it's been a minute, man. But I've been doing a lot of traveling. I know you got stuff going on. You got the fam and all that. Being playing dad. So just we'll get back in the swing of things more. But yeah, it's crazy, man. The fact that it's been like close to an entire year since we did the Bali's meetup stream, which was incredible. We have to do it again at some point.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe not travel. Maybe we do it. Miami's probably the logical place here, but
Yeah, that's why I moved here, man, so we could do these things locally.
maybe wait till the winter, so give people an excuse to travel from the north down. And uh, we'll have to start discussing that, because I agree. And we'll probably get to October and be like, yeah, we have to do something. So um,
Yeah, I'm down, man. Anytime we can do
um,
it in Brickell. My God.
yeah.
So yeah, so watching kind of right now, Bitcoin's really getting a hangover after that grayscale news, right?
Yeah, let's go right there, because that, I guess, is probably the biggest news, other than, maybe Nvidia or a couple of the other individuals. But there.
How do you feel about it being such big news, but such little effect on the price so far?
Oh, I thought it should have been up 10 or 20%, at
Yeah,
least
right?
10.
I mean, that's like it's been written into scripture, right? This stuff, this type of news. I mean, like it's biblical almost for Bitcoin, and it's just all that happened was the buyers sent the price to the 200-day simple moving average, and you're now currently trading below it for the past 2 days. So it's kind of like, huh?
Oh, you
Still after them making your highest low of the entire rally, and before that, your highest high of the entire rally. So not dead yet, just weird.
Yeah, let me bring up. So I don't know if you caught it. I literally just today got the auto type 1, type 2. I was sharing with everybody.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
listening. This very cool.
let me,
A little.
yeah,
And
let me,
how is it articulated on the software? Like the type one and two? Is it that you always had the already had the indicators right with the star and the sun?
we had the star, the terminal bar, that kind of marks the initial point for the pattern, but really of what we're looking for in terms of reactions, reversals. Um, it's we haven't nailed it to this magnitude until recently, and so the type 1 and type 2 will show really where things start and end, where you should be thinking about starting and ending the whole process of, like, where is a type 2? What is a type 2? What really qualifies as an official type 2? And then I think structurally people understand it's like a pattern completion to target, and that's a great starting point. But it can be, you can get confusing if you're, especially in middle of the trade or day trade, and you're like, okay, which is the level?
The
Um,
switching between the daily and the weekly sometimes gets me, right? Where, oh, it looks so no brainer on the daily as being a type two return, discernible peak between the two valleys. But when you go to the weekly, it may not be as such, where like that's all, both of those lows could be a type one because you haven't retraced deep enough from the harmonic, right? From the high to low.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm trying to see what this is. Why that pattern? There should be a pattern coming up here. Let me check the other one. Um,
Yeah, I figured there'd be I mean, it's almost like there's like an alternate or a shark pattern, like the B point or the D point was August 17th, when it
y-
bottomed.
yeah, I just remembered. Here's the shark. I just remembered. We just got it on. I'm running through the crab. I only have it on the crab pattern right now. Uh, on our beta version. This is. I just flashed up what's going on BTC with. We did have the shark. That's auto generated. I think everyone saw that. And for most of the summer, I was saying, look, we're looking for shark to 5-0, and we blasted through.
Yeah. Yep. No 5-0.
And there's the
Unlike, what about gold though? Gold's got that 5-0, right? Maybe.
gold's got a lot of patterns. I just think there's probably a little more work to do. Um, you want like shark to 5-0 in these kind of environment, in Bitcoin's environment, because you want to see this continuation, but
Mm-hmm. It's in an uptrend already. Yeah.
yeah, but this, go all the way to target 225.5. We did have some short-term daily confirmation, but according to my stuff, all that little bounce did was get us overbought again. So I'm not there on Bitcoin yet. I'm not, I still think there's got to be something bigger. I want to
You got to
see.
break 31K, right? I mean, that is, call me, wake me up when that happens, because that's the resistance that the buyer's been unable to breach, violate since mid-April, and here we are going into September tomorrow, and it's just like that's it, man. I mean, you can't say the uptrend will continue until that level is broken with follow through. But at the same time, you can't say that the trend is reversed to the downside yet until we put in a lower high than the highest side most recent event from July 13th. And maybe we're working on that right now. We have not formally back tested 28,800 as resistance yet. That would be a form of confirmation, like you just, when we broke it, right? When the sellers breached that 28.8 August 16th, there was never a back test. So, you know how often these guys like testing the price when you see it to see it flip. So, I mean, just don't have that yet either. You're kind of in limbo between 25.3 and 28.8.
It's a pretty sloppy range, no doubt. It's lucky that they rallied it off at 25, and
Yeah.
you get to this point where you're going to violate a multi-month range, with a close under 25. So I guess under 25K, is if people were looking for something deeper, probably
Danger,
happens.
man, below that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you think like below like so it's like in a zone. I mean, it's always normally a zone 24/7, 25/3, but below 24/7, I mean, you have like 20% downside potential. I mean, you tell me, like, I have it just looking at, I think 20K is a valid target below 24/7.
Yeah, I think what I'm tracing out right here is something more on the weekly. The big rejection at 30, or really the at 31, because that's the 1618. Yeah, this is the down move from last summer into the fall. And so what was this? I mean, structurally, I call it a harmonic impulse wave. It's this unique kind of move that it's not every 1618. It's where you have this situation, a clear divergence at the low X A B. That's a clear shakeout, and what it is a reaction off of that shakeout where that's a failed breakdown, and so shorts have to run, and they run all the way to the 1618. In this case, that was pretty spot on. It did, and it didn't
Hmm.
hit until back in early June, late May. You spent 6 weeks,
That was perfect too. My God, man.
yeah, and
Perfect 1618.
and
Yeah.
then rejected slowly too. There's no positive build here at all. It's a complete rollover.
Well,
That
what strengthened that the 1618 was the very clear, concise on the time scale you're looking at, that bearish divergence on the MACD histogram. It was so like right there, mature, everything.
Let me bring that in because that's
Yeah, and that's like, stuff that I think I tried teaching. I know you tried teaching, like the, combination of variables where anytime if you're identifying a 1.618 fib extension, then you're looking for a confirmation high there, and then you're looking for buyer exhaustion there. Like that strengthens the 1.618 as a level of inflection, and it is confluent with the most important level, right? 31K. I mean, that's multiple times throughout history. That is where market participants have pivoted the price. So it's just like, my God, I mean, what else could you ask for that being a level where certainly there could be a reversal?
Yeah, that is that's a great trade management tool. That's where like it helps to catch runners in instances like that, because if there's just weak buying pressure into there, it's rolling over. You don't have much to counter the argument that you're in some kind of retracement pullback. And if we laying harmonics on top of it, it's a real clear impulse kind of. We could almost say this is a shark pattern off of the June 21 peak, and that's kind of fudging it. You can connect dots that way, but you could say that, but it still points back to, especially in that breakdown, it still points to something deeper. It points to 23 as a 5-0, or even as low as maybe a 618, which is low 20s. I mean, the 618 is like 21.6, I think. Yeah, something like that.
From the November lows. Yeah,
It,
21,742.
something like that. And again, it's amazing. The narrative blows me away with Bitcoin. It's almost like people have a paid shill desk full time going 24/7, because the grayscale thing, everyone's buying it. Oh, this so and so firm is going to corner the market on Bitcoin. And Michael Saylor, of course, all the time. I
Oh
st-
yeah, he's like a disciple for religion. He's like an evangelical.
yeah, and then
Faith based.
the whole BitBoy drama. I found that like totally gangster
Mm.
move. Both sides. I thought that was, but I mean that's classic market material, kind of classic market characters getting flushed out of the system. Whether or not that guy goes away or not, I'm sure he'll come back on his
I think
own.
he might already be back, man. I don't know. I think these people it's all about the views and the clicks and the drama, right? It was never right? Based on how much money they made, it was never about crypto itself. It was never about trading for them. It was always about the grift. And guess what? The grift's up, man. Crypto's dead. Sentiment is as dead as it will ever be in this space. And this is what they resort to continue relevance and views and clicks because all that easy money dried up. So that's what they focus on. That's their thing. And for us, it's always been about these charts here. And unfortunately, they haven't been that eventful, but the great news is, right, we are chameleons as traders, market participants. Wherever there's liquidity and there are patterns and there's price action, we go to. And unfortunately, it's just not been crypto, but equities, right? I mean, the stock market has been a godsend this whole year. Commodities starting to shape up the same way. But my
Yeah.
God, man, look at as we speak, Bitcoin's at its lows of the day, and very close to breaking below 26,550.
Yeah, I wanted to share something with you. Yeah, look at that. Coming on right back down, and I don't even think we're going to trigger it now. Maybe we were a couple days ago. No, we're not going to trigger it. So here's the deal. Something I posted to my group. I'll show you guys, and this is really for me kind of seals the deal on kind of how I'm looking at Bitcoin until I see real definitive stuff. Like what I'm about to show you. I'm gonna wait. I'm not. I'm holding. A little Bitcoin. It's. I mean, monetarily, it's maybe a little bit of size, but it's not huge like I had the last cycle. I would. I definitely want to participate in the next cycle. But I want to show this kind of a thing where I went through my software to really kind of nail down where are the turning points, where are the oversold levels, with all the harmonic stuff that I do, the way that I measure Bitcoin. And I went back and I looked at all the bullish signals, and you see a number of these, and we had, let me tell you here, since 2016, so we had 11 signals, 11 oversold. That's what this green arrow is, and we're trying to put in one now. Okay, with this little sell off and pop, it won't complete until the end of the week, but we're trying to put one in now. But every time, except for one instance, and that was back in the failure in 2020, excuse me, 2022, when bear market really took hold. So 1 out of 10 failed. But every signal that did develop, okay, and remember, today's like week 1, and we're not even sure. It might be next week even. So super early. But all of these signals required, multiple bars, many weeks before a larger
Mm-hmm.
acceleration could take shape. Even in the strong instances where things really started to take off, that still was a few weeks before any kind of rocket scenario. Hey, I'm going to miss out on Bitcoin. Is it really oversold? Is it cheap here? Does it need more time? And I've been saying for a while that we need to wait for definitive signals. This might be the first one. I don't know if it will trigger this week. Maybe it triggers next week. But you're still, I would think, 4, 6, even 8 weeks away from anything really taking off, exploding. So that takes you into September, October. And yeah, so just I keep saying patience, patience. A lot of times, I know it's not a cop out word, but it's really something. End of the summer here, really important to be mindful of. And then here's the all-time charts. I went to the all-time index and went to every signal, and it was what was that? This was 20 signals. We had 20. Okay, 7 had no check back, no retest. 13 did. But every case and every scenario with these, this is weekly too, so it's a substantial signal. Our last signal was back last summer. It was early, and that's my point here. These are all early. But we'll see if we get this in the next week or two, and then that process 6, 8 week process can begin for Bitcoin, where maybe you're trying to set something up into the halving. Really important
Hmm.
to stay in a measured framework. That's kind of the longer term style that I technically want to stick to before I worry about missing out, or that BlackRock is buying out a potential position here at 25, and then I won't be able to get back into 30 or 35. I don't. I think it's going to be like a light switch. Technically, it always is. Turns
Yeah,
on,
for this one, Bitcoin, it is like that. Yeah.
turns on. Like you see what we've got right now. We're getting to that point, but even you do a lot with MACD, and I really don't look at it that much, but I've studied it, obviously, Wells Wilder stuff. That you're breaking down bearish on the weekly
The
here.
signal lines look awful there. I don't use signal lines, but looking at yours on your chart, that looks really bad.
Yeah. So early, I think it's 6, 8 weeks. Structurally, you connect the dots, you go lower, potentially, and then and I think I'll take a look at how with the new signaling, but I would want 2 of 2. Let me where is it? Did it get to 645? No. I wanted to go really quick and just show you the kind of the 2 of 2. Here you go. So yeah, here's those 2 weekly, and I always come back to this, that this was a 2 of 2 situation. We are nowhere near Bitcoin harmonically giving us 2 beautiful back-to-back bat patterns on the weekly. I would take one. I would love to have one weekly pattern that, even in Bitcoin, even on a daily, that is as clear as something like this. And then with our confirmation, or some of the other tools I was mentioning earlier, where it just says, hey, it's 2 of 2, it's time to go. Nothing, we're not there yet.
My God, man, it's crazy because this is, I think we were talking about this about a year ago. Like, at some point, what we would want to see, and it was just like we got this rally that started in November, and is it concluding now? You think? I mean,
Yeah, well, I
you'd
don't.
think maybe one
That
six one
was
eight.
whatever happened 2 days ago was a completely impulsive wave, impulsive dump wave that, is a little scary, even, of getting oversold. That got us oversold on a daily basis. That it should be of concern. That I think we could come lower sooner than later. And 23 is, still look for that 50% retracement. And it's a lot like XRP. And I wanted to show, everybody with the auto signaler, that XRP did the perfect, I couldn't be more precise, exact type 1 move that we, like you said, a year ago, we were talking about this, um, like Bitcoin, massive bat pattern, beautiful. Now, what is the expectation for every type 1 move? Is to go to target 1. That structurally is the real distinguishing
Hmm.
mark that says, okay, sufficient enough move, reactive move, and you see it, and it hit exactly at 93 cents.
Yeah. What percentage is that T1 type one or the target one?
Target 1's, well, it depends on the pattern. It's generally a
Yeah.
382 move.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, like yeah, minimum 382 if you want to type one to be like official, right?
Yeah. It's
For the most part.
Yeah, most part, a little different on, some of the, other patterns, like a 5-0, and then target 2 is a shark. Excuse me, target 2, up there on the shark could be a lot higher. That's a 618. Shark is,
Yeah.
like, I think, a 1618. But type 1 here at 93, is the definition, and then we have the A1 signal. It says, okay, that's it. and you don't even have to spend more than 2 or 3 bars. Even if you got caught on it, you say, well, that's done. That reaction's done. Where's the likely retest? I think back to the zone on XRP for the perfect type 2, much like this, and this is why I think XRP is probably something to be eyeing for the next cycle. But I really get the feeling that it's like this. It's like the bat pattern we had in Bitcoin, and now you're going to come back, and it might be a really quick retest. Maybe it's 37 or 35 cents on XRP, and then it hit.
Another, yeah.
But you're actually close to a type 2, and that's one of the few crypto really showing something like that so
Hmm.
nicely. Ideal.
Well, I like the fact that it's just been making consecutive higher highs, higher lows. And you look at any random altcoin on a watch list, and it's making consecutive lower highs, lower lows, or testing its lowest low the entire downtrend in December, rivaling that and catching a small bounce because of the ETF news. But now just short lived. I mean, these are awful trends. They're like trend's not your friend. So good luck, identifying some sort of bullish reversal because it might be reliable this time, but it's going to underperform, and then it's going to roll over later and make fresh lows. That's my opinion on the altcoins, most of them.
Oh, that's actually good to look at. Go to the total indices because they are um, slightly different story. I mean, they're both ugly, but total one is definitely not as bad as total three. There's one, um, but total three. Okay, bigger patterns. I actually mentioned this earlier that the way this is just continues to roll over. It's a harmonic dud. If you ever wanted to see a harmonic dud, that's a harmonic dud off of some major levels at around 300 million or 300 billion, excuse me. I think get down to under 300 billion before get some kind of confirmation. Uh, Total index, this would be something where you get under this low because you did put in a higher low. So if you get under 970 billion on the total
Oh
index,
man, bad action magnet move stuff, right?
exactly. And they're 50 point, you're already at a 50% level, gets you break if you break that, and it's not, what have we done for 8 weeks now? And go to the
So
you
confirm what was once resistance support is resistance at 1.13, 1.2 trillion, top of the range. I mean, yeah, and now like this rally, with my quotations, this little rally here, buyers were unable to even test the 200-day simple moving average on total as resistance, unable to test 1.13 trillion. So far, I'm just seeing a lack of demand
wow,
on total market cap.
there's 200.
Yeah,
Red,
couldn't
red
touch it.
rejected it.
At least Bitcoin got it. At least Bitcoin touched it, tested it, and failed like a man. Just kidding, but yeah. I just posted my total chart to you, like in DM,
Let me
so you
see
can just
that.
see it like on mine. Yeah, just to give the clear range, the range levels and where you are. And it's like the only thing you could do as a swing trader in a situation like what happened in July was that second failed attempt and a slightly lower high than the high we saw in April. I mean, it's either go short at resistance, or do nothing. I mean, and that's the problem with Bitcoin. Like, and the way it's been, since March probably after that crazy pump. I mean, you'd be buying high inherently no matter what. Yes, dollar cost average all day, but you are not identifying Bitcoin on the daily like in any situation that is like value or a great strategic entry like you'd be looking at some of these stocks that are ungodly, man. Like Jesus, dude, we're talking like Caesars Entertainment, like back testing an old resistance as support, making already in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, and is breaking back out. I mean, nothing in crypto is showing opportunity like you're seeing on the equities market. It's crazy. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I don't
agree.
think
I
price
agree.
is really relevant for Bitcoin. I mean, I'm not saying like whatever Bitcoin's a scam or anything. No, I will always own Bitcoin. I don't care about the price though, like at all, like because of what it does. Individual sovereignty, right? Can't be hacked, can't be seized.
Uh,
All those things. So
I think it's a lot also kind of like where we were with Microsoft, Meta, Netflix, Tesla, a year ago, going into major patterns where those were huge, weekly, decade-long opportunities, but they needed time. They needed
hmm
months to resolve themselves, knowing that you were going to wash out some kind of massive bear market cycle after last year. It probably happened sooner than people thought. Uh,
January 1st,
yeah,
like the click of like a Thanos snap finger, it's like crazy.
but knowing
New year, new price action.
Yeah, some kind of turnaround. I think with the halving cycle, it's like, okay, where's the valley? Where is the deep
hmm
value opportunity ahead of that, and then to play it into, say, where you're holding Bitcoin a year from now, because you're 4 or 5 months after the halving, 3 4 months after the halving at this point next year, and you're seeing that move. I mean, you're seeing that acceleration move, that everyone's trying to pile on with Bitcoin, of going on the 4 year cycle.
But
And
that in itself, though, cautionary tale where just because it's happened in the past, you have no idea. I mean, you'd think, oh yeah, it's just gonna happen again, but I mean, that can't be in one's trading plan, really, right? I mean, because that's not part of it. Well, we wait for every 4 years for the cycle for Bitcoin, even though it may not come this time, but still, we have faith. What is it? We have faith, or is it mathematical, where it's just because the difficulty of Bitcoin mining increases exponentially? Um, it's like a beyond technical analysis, right? To a degree.
yeah, I kind of look at it as an allocation cycle. If it's self fulfilling or otherwise, I do agree. It's not a guarantee. You're kind of going off the notion that a bunch of other knuckleheads are going to believe this thing. They're going to believe this,
Everyone believes it. Everyone. It
and
is like financial religion now, where everyone knows that Bitcoin will save us, and it always comes around the halvening cycle. So, I just like that's what everyone says. And if I think if you or me did what everyone said, we wouldn't be in our situation in life, like financially. So,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I get it.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of I know there's a lot of the crypto nerds that are out there who pat themselves on the back. I was in there 2013 and I bought 10,000 Bitcoin for whatever, for $20,000 or something, and and it's great. Congratulations. As a trader, I would look at it just as a speculation cycle, nothing more, and I'm just tracing out where it's supposed to happen come next year. That's is roughly March or April, and so let's just trace out the last 4 years. Well, there's another halving cycle. Oh, great harmonic pattern. There's another 4 years prior, and then 2012. I mean, that's the total index. Let me get the Bitcoin all-time index, because that's probably the best way to go on this. Um, where'd you go?
Yeah,
Uh,
interesting chart.
and that would then lead you to look at this, where you're patiently waiting, essentially every 4 years, springtime, for this to come together, and then your signals, or your preceding signals, is what you're trying to jump on for that, whatever that inevitability is. And it is amazing, because I guess the first one I really participated in was 2018, that little pop. But the big one was 2020, where you did have huge movement, where it was like a train that was moving in the night, and everyone knew it was coming. And so people were just jumping on it. It could be like that again, where
Irresponsibly long. That was the
yeah,
term.
yeah, yeah.
But then the top of that cycle was it's basically risk free. That was another term from the same person, Raul Paul, and he was talking about Terra Luna. staking for US whatever UST. So yeah, I mean like the irresponsibly long and that period. So that's the thing I talk about, man. Like those are the periods of time, the beginning of the mania phase. That's where the composite operator is such a genius. Where like you might have been telling your own family and friends that it's time to buy Bitcoin in the summer of 2020 because look at the reaccumulation occurring, but they won't, right? But the composite operator is currently accumulating, right? He's in that campaign at that time, and you're like screaming, like Paul Revere, the British are coming, the composite operator's accumulating. They won't listen because they're too scared because like well, the no liquidity is barely moving, but it's happening. And then after the markup phase begins and the asset starts running to 50, $60,000, only then will your own blood, your own family, your own best friends you grew up with, will they acquire their Bitcoin. And the composite operator made them do it. He was able to somehow reach into their minds and their hearts to get them to say, shut up and take my money. And that is where he begins to offload his position, as we clearly see now. I think it's just the most fascinating thing about TA and charts is just thinking about the way that one man, those people behind the curtains, how they're able to do that. To me, that thing is just wow, the craziest part of all this.
I think it shows up as a signature, and I was going to show you a couple of examples that, all right, let's go back to 2012. I guess that was around the first halving cycle. If any of you guys in the chat have exact halving dates, I would love if someone could post that. But let's just say every 4 years. What did
Yep.
we have down there? I mean, 2012. I was the guy who bought the pizzas with the 100 Bitcoin. No, I'm joking. But Bitcoin at $1. Because I remember vaguely hearing about Bitcoin. I guess it was around 2011 even. I heard about it, but um, I didn't know anything about it, and I probably wasn't computer savvy enough at that time even to store it on my hard drive. But we had signals, and you can go back, and it doesn't matter. I mean, we really need to mess with the zoom here, and I think this is a great, almost comical lesson to say what ifs here. But let's look at just the slope and structure of the way that these boom bust cycles go. There's your first one from 2010. And I'm gonna, I'll have my software on here too, and it's cool to be able to run those kind of measurements. But there's the inception of Bitcoin at a penny, 1 penny, jeez. And but still, it does. Just think of it more in terms of boom bust. Boom and the magical 886, Mitch. I mean, look at
Yep.
the
The magic.
magical.
That's where dreams come true, man.
And so we want magic. Give me an 886 of some sort. Let me buy it at all-time 886 with and these are some of my, so we got the HSI signals right there at the bottom. This is the halving, and the halving date is known. Okay. And I think where you're looking for it preceding halving makes a lot of sense. And then you can really tell, like, all right, what's it? Is this going to go to a 382? Is it going to 618? What does it do there? Oh, it absolutely annihilates it. Oh, okay. Then maybe we can do something more. That's the way we would address the scale all the time. I mean, that's incredible. It went right to the 886 at $4, and then does the next move, which was 25. What was that? A 40x, 50x almost.
Insanity. Yeah.
Okay, on that first, well, even more because you had that and you had that. But I guess that first cycle move was crazy to go to 1100 from $4. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. But for what's realistic? Well, let's get some patterns, let's get some measurements. And here's 2015, and again, a similar situation. This one signaled probably even sooner, almost a year and a half sooner for the low, but massive Gartley, beautiful Gartley structure. And you have a big weekly Gartley. To me, that's kind of like XRP. You have something looking left, and
Yeah.
you're facing a major uh, conclusion resolution for XRP. I just think it's the whole SEC thing. For Bitcoin, it's a halving deal. But something's coming, so let's look left for signals. We had it there again, and it was in the form of a pattern where after the consolidation, it took time. But yeah, you had another pattern, beautiful 200-day moving average metrics there. And then it just takes off again. And how do you know if it's going to explode? Well, look at the 886. I mean, the 886 level on all of them, bullish and bearish, a real turning point. 886 kind of reaction and then breakout to, most of them you would assume a 314. But again, look at the pattern. You're up, even back in the pennies and dollars and hundreds of dollars. You had the big thrust move. You had some kind of 886 Gartley dynamic. And then you come back to your long-term metrics, because that is the long-term sine wave, supply wave, however you want to say it. And then you go back to
God.
2020, man.
Going on? Sorry. Holy crap.
There's 2020
Oh yeah, it was incredible, man.
of
It was insane.
back to back.
And it was hilarious. In between those two massive M shapes you have on your screen, a Gartley with a perfect Gartley within itself, bridged like you can't see it on the weekly, but it bridged the gap between the first harmonic and the second. Is unbelievable. Like on the daily, and that was like what kind of put me on the map. That identification. And that's when people were like, "Oh, Bitcoin." It was like $3,300, and people like Toonbase like sell all your Bitcoin. It's going to $1,000, and it's like, wait, there's a harmonic completed, and it pivoted, and it went up to 618 from the previous side of low. It's unreal, man. Like just harmonics are everywhere. I don't know how you're gonna be an Elliott wave person over harmonic trader. It's like, have fun, man. Have fun with that.
Yeah, and I so give me a pattern. Give me something really concrete here. With all of that for crypto in general, it's not a bad idea to be looking. It's just hasn't signaled yet. And there's your halving. You're actually, it's surprising because it's kind of like 2020 where the halving came and you weren't too far off of the static lows. So a lot of things can happen between now and the next 6 months. I feel like we'll get clear signals. Maybe it's in the form of only a daily pattern.
God.
We have some big crab patterns, but maybe we get a back-to-back pattern and retest. I just think it's not going to do it right now. Hold on a second. Not going to do that right now to really make it happen until we get definitive oversold signals.
Do you want to just for the sake of something's really interesting? I posted a chart, but it'd be cool if you brought it up yourself. Like you typed in Bitcoin paired to the Nasdaq Composite, the IXIC, to look at it, and the sheer just weakness that you're seeing compared to the U.S. dollar. Like if you're pairing it to something maybe a little bit harder or stronger than the U.S. dollar, it's kind of technically having problems right now.
What's that? BTC IXC?
Yeah, you type in
IXIC.
BTC and then the whatever slash IXIC. You just hit enter and it takes you directly to that chart.
There you go.
Yeah, if you look at the levels looking left, I mean, it's clearly breaking some sort of support today.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
delayed.
Maybe and hey, maybe that's what goes on here. I mean, that's an even nicer one because that's already a 5-0 complete. Check out this. That's a great way to look at it and a little kind of deeper detail. But look, this becomes shark to 5-0, which is you're at the 618 almost exactly. That's at that 35 mark. And your back retest. If that was a 5-0, this would be the type 2 spot for the 5-0 retest. But if it fails, forget it. You're going to have to go deeper. I don't, you're right there. I mean, you're literally right there, make or break, because if you don't, then hey, maybe what we get is in that or in BTC, we get a Gartley structure
Mm-hmm.
like the last few times that marked the low. That from a harmonic pattern perspective, we'd almost want to demand it from a discipline
Yeah.
kind of a framework.
Letting the money come to you type situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And so that's like the bad action magnet move you're pretty much you're close to. And
Yeah.
and really look at the context. Look at the all that distribution going on lately. Like those, how Bitcoin to the US dollar it was a slightly higher high actually. And then you look to the Nasdaq, something harder. It's a substantially lower high than the previous high. And then you even see look at that test of the 200-day simple moving average rejected there on that's another lower high. And so that context is pretty bad, like pretty awful. If you're just looking at it like anything else, you'd say that there is someone offloading their position pretty aggressively right here after the first high,
Yeah, it's a
the fact that
typical
you're back at that. Yeah.
a
Go ahead.
real sell the news event. I mean, real sell the news event. Had
Yeah.
nothing.
And you got like I don't even know, man, if it's really Bitcoin as much as it is altcoins, because altcoins, it's like there was the bubble popped a long time ago, but there's just still some air left in that bubble that popped, deflated. You can't use the basketball anymore. It's useless, but there's still air in it. And that air needs to get taken out. We need like some sort of major capitulation again. Uh, and I think like this whole CZ Binance thing going on, I think the SEC sent him sealed documents so we're going to be finding out more information in the coming weeks about what's like. I think the SEC is like suing Binance or something crazy. And
Well, it makes sense. They've got one more year. They have maybe
okay,
15 months until the next election, where their real power to get anything done, if they're going to do something, and they have not done anything, but if they're going to do something under the current regime,
mm-hmm.
um,
Occupiers, yeah,
they're
yeah.
going to have to do it now. And so, see them put the pressure on it. I'm surprised I haven't seen something like Cardano get dinged for its the way that it operates. If they're going to tag these other ones,
I think that's
um,
testament to how screwed up this whole system, quote unquote, is. It's not a system; it's a joke, right?
yeah, it's a joke. Again, it also can change where if we get the change, and I don't want to, who even knows what that'll mean, but if we could get a change in even regulation in general, because the last halving cycle was under a very lenient regulation cycle
Mm-hmm.
where anything could fly, and he went
Yeah, they
from
did.
anything to nothing.
Yeah, it was like there's more things going on. It was just like not something people were focused on, but now you understand like authoritarianism, like any regime that wants tyranny and wants to take away people's rights, wants to usher in a cashless society, the World Economic Forum's whole agenda, they would certainly crack down on crypto, but only after they used crypto. They used a plant. I think Sam Bankman-Fried was a actual plant that they used for money laundering for their own devices, right? I mean, because he was the second largest campaign contributor. But of course, like nowadays, none of that matters because they have all the legacy media as propaganda arms. So they used him as an excuse to not only money launder, but then to crack down on crypto. And then it's like, oh, well, everything's like Sam Bankman Fried and FTX now, everything. So we're going to come after all the exchanges, knock them all out. And that's really like kind of killed the crypto market. The fact that there's just this uncertainty and their lawsuits and subpoenas and all that. It's just made it to where like how could anyone want to get into altcoins? Because the technicals are terrible, but they line up fundamentally. Where, yeah, both awful.
Yeah, there's I mean, if you're looking for examples of altcoin just ugliness. Cardano here, back to back, you've got two bearish patterns after the type 1 reaction, and Cardano has to get to 19 cents. It's got this hop level at 19.9. And I really, if it was any pattern or if it was any market, that's how I would look at it regardless. It just is, not easy to dismiss the fact that this was, $4, $3 or something at the high. And so now it's a penny stock and you're trying to scoop on a penny stock that has a lot of issues. And so none of this. XRP is the same way. It hasn't triggered from a harmonic pattern perspective. There might be an opportunity like we've seen the last couple of cycles at the lows where people are throwing it away. I just don't think they're throwing it away yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're looking Cardano here, all that right there. To me, the most recent discernible event on the Cardano chart was 37 cents, a key inflection point that goes back to 2018. It was formally back tested as resistance, so that is a form of confirmation. At the same time, it was also a considerably lower high than previous highs before in April, and rejecting the 200-day simple moving average. So that to me, all those events occurring in mid-July, that means to me that is a form of confirmation of the resumption of the downtrend. And you just have this last remaining buy wall at 24 cents that I think soon will be taken out. And I think Cardano has another 50% downside based only on inflection points looking left. I think that's, and this is a short trade setup. I posted, it is still active. It has hit 2 of the 3 targets. The third target's like 15 cents, but 12 cents to me, I think is for real. Like that's, remember the bubble popped already, but there's still a little bit of air left in the bubble or in this ball. And I think like the assets like Cardano going to 12 cents, VeChain going to whatever its next inflection point is. They're all back testing their big levels for 2018 as resistance, man. That's like confirming it. I look at that, I'm like, how could it, how is it going to hold here with all this bad bearish context?
It's not. It has to do. Even that has to capitulate one way or another. I don't. It's not here, and it's even with the patterns. The patterns are lower. That just is. It's a fact. It's a fact. You can't get away with it. I'm trying to get a longer term chart there of Cardano to
Yeah, the
go back.
8080 USD on Binance.
Yeah, there you go.
Tremendous data.
There it is. Yep. And the rest of them, whether they stay in business or whatever, or they get kicked out of the United States. There's been that
Business, by the way.
What's that?
Business. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
People, I mean, dude, these things are beanie babies. They don't do anything for anyone. And even if they did, they cannot mathematically articulate an argument on how, if you did own this, how they could make you money back. They're jokes on a screen. But it's cool because if you're in an established uptrend, you can identify bullish patterns and go long. And it'll probably work out like the beginning before the blow off top in the mania phase, right? I mean, that's where you're looking. So that takes a very long time. Look at that chart right there. My God, look how long it took for like the things to set up before the mania phase. They certainly did set up for the mania phase, and you were making higher highs, higher lows. You were in a pretty good environment to go long, but we're on the other side. We're in the depression, despair phase of that Wall Street bubble psychology. You just don't know how long these things are going to last, and I think they have to capitulate here. I don't think it's. I don't know, man. Just to me, we're just looking at beanie babies. Literally, it's like 1998, dude, or maybe it's not 2000 now, right? The bubble popped. No one wants to buy beanie babies anymore, and you're at the point now where the people that hoarded all their beanie babies in the mania, they still have a huge inventory of the beanie babies, but you can tell that there's about to be a major markdown again because there's zero demand for beanie babies. So you just ad-libbing crypto beanie babies. It's the same thing. in a lot of ways. Because, dude, 18,000 cryptos created, 18,000, over 18,000. There's just no way.
Yep.
There's only a finite amount of capital that exists on this planet, and all these cryptos, 18,000 of them, are trading. And if they were cut in half or they were cut down 75%, they would still, you wouldn't be able to say it's fair value. I just, yeah, look at there. There's the chart right there. That's where we are. We're in despair, depression, anger. Not anger's over. We're over beyond anger. Yeah, just
Yeah,
depression.
we're getting into depression. That's about right. I think that's, it's classic.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that's a pets.com.
Yep.
That's a even something like, here's a company, Sun Microsystems, where that was a high flyer. They called it one of the four horsemen. It went to 125, ended up going to $4
God.
at the .com low. Yeah, that last breakdown, or the last breakdown right now, is really where you're into that depression, the capitulation, last part of anger into the depression. So maybe that's what you need. And that is such a apropos chart for any market bubble move that happens.
Yep.
Um, yeah, time and time again. I kind of think last year we were in anxiety phase on the markets, like whether or not that was going to hold. We'll see what happens on these all-time highs into later this year. Nasdaq and S&P. I mean,
Right? It's like a completely different world, like
yeah,
crypto to stocks right now, where you got like so many assets hitting 52-week highs every day. You have assets hitting all-time highs. Like ANET hit all-time highs today. Visa, MasterCard, I think they hit all-time highs yesterday. And then there's just assets that are technical beauties. Like they're set up and they've already been making higher highs, higher lows. So the trend's your friend. So things are going to be more reliable and they might outperform. And we're just, looking for them to make. They're still not at 38 to 61% retraces from their all-time highs to the October lows. So like there's still just upside potential technically. And here, you're just looking at assets that are underperforming, lower highs, lower lows. Oh, okay, fine. They stop making lower lows. They're just making the same lows, but they're certainly, without a doubt, still making lower highs. So there's still someone out there offloading the position. I think it's CZ himself. I think it's like he's like the king of the beanie babies. They're facilitators, right, of the buy orders and sell orders of these cryptos. So they have a lot of inventory of almost every one of these scam S coins, these 18,000 S coins, how many are on their exchange. I think it's them. They're offloading. They're the ones putting in these lower highs, and they're just looking. They're inducing buying from stupid money that think maybe a bottom's in, right on these little pumps. Like Cardano got this little pump that made in mid-July. I mean, off its low, off the lowest low to that buyer induction rally, it went up 70% in 33 days. Like that would usher in stupid money, and that's just enough of the stupid money for CZ and the composite operator themselves to just offload the remainder of their position. And now you're just back in this last support, and no one's buying just enough. Like I think it's just CO remaining buy orders here before there is no more demand, and then it just blasts through 24 cents and goes to 15 and 12 cents easily. So 50% downside. So, and I think that's like the same story on almost every other crypto, just about.
yeah. Binance ready to go back down and retest the zone. Type one. This is actually on the. When you got the signal 2 days ago.
Oh,
Um,
BNB is so bad. Oh my God. That's such bad price action, dude. That's
yeah,
wow.
clear reaction on that
Yep.
crab, and now you
And the
will.
divergence. Yep. Bullish divergence was there too.
Yeah, here I'll bust that up.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
right? Like it can be a couple things, but then what I've been saying on my stream is like, okay, we've identified these things. They're all happening at 200, like at this support, right? But now the question is, if we've identified it, we know it's there. We also know the context, extremely bearish trend. So we know, okay, it seems like it's being somewhat reliable with the reaction itself, but let's check and see the performance, where we understand that it would probably underperform. Well, As of today, you're already falling below these key levels. I mean, right now, BNB is trading lower than the May 12th, 2022 low, trading lower than the June 2021 low, the March 2021 low. It's trading lower than all those. So there's only like one left, kind of, and it's 211, 212. Very bad. Very, very bad price action. So not what you want to see.
Yeah, you only need to go out to the monthly to see that it's vulnerable. And you tell me about that chart, like all the other ones. This is going to be, it could have been worse. Let me tell you, if
Yeah.
if we were down, if this closed anywhere under 200 by the end of today, as the monthly close, that would have been devastating.
Oof.
The only thing you need to pay attention to is like under 175, and you have nothing but to do the full reset. Go back to your
Oh,
886
dude, it's
level,
coming, man. It's coming.
because you do. You've got there's the M formation. We could say 618, maybe 786 if you're going to connect dots. But again, Binance full reset is like 65 or $75
Yeah,
generally.
absolutely.
Um,
And that's pizza party, man. It's like a thing. I'm pretty I have a pretty amount of confidence that we will see that, even though nothing's certain, nothing ever will be. Just the context. Yeah, you just have to think about like when a sell-off concludes at a support, it is now in the hands of the buyers to articulate to everyone else around the world that can see this chart why, right? They have to construct an argument on why the trend is truly reversing, and you will begin to rival previous highs, and then you will pivot and you will make higher lows, and then you will run again. That never happened. The buyers had an entire year, over a year now, to articulate that argument, and they have shown that there are so many less of them, so much less. There's so much less demand, but there are just far less market participants involved with the asset itself, with that 350 being the line in the sand. And now you're just testing the support again after you've been testing and testing and testing and violently bouncing off of it for a year, and now no more. And guess what? In 6 hours and 43 minutes, if all stays the same or lower on price, it will be the lowest monthly candle close on Binance since February of 2021. You'll be taking out the low you saw on Black Saturday's worst. Traders will be settling up lower than you saw June 2022. So
wow. Yep.
and so you think about, this is the chart. This is the key to the city for crypto, where if they are the biggest facilitator of buy orders and sell orders for these scam joke 18,000 beanie babies, they're going to get hosed with BNB. There's no way that Cardano holds up. VeChain, Band, Atom, Algo, you name an S coin. There's no way they hold their price while BNB breaks the support and marks down to $50, $40. No way.
Yeah, I think, and as a trader, you got to recognize even this garbage of the pop and roll. How
Yep.
much do you have to go through? Here's Bitcoin Cash that did a big pop, uh,
Sure did.
rolling back right over. And again, even though that's seems like it's hanging, I just don't see that not coming all the way back down to the 190 level eventually. There's several of these. Um, Even some of those AI crypto that caught a bid, and look great. I mean, here's this fetch AI where beautiful pattern and great opportunity. Like there'd be the first time since the January pump where it's like, okay, that's some kind of crazy move. Is this for real? All right, there's a great pattern there, finally. And that was back in June. It did it nothing. It went from 18 to 23, back to 18, and it just bounced again. But longer term, like there's your moving average. You just haven't done much to even get to target one. And until Bitcoin moves, these great patterns that would normally work out just
Yep.
just become duds.
Yeah, and I think that's testament to the whole. I mean, the SEC, like the regulators, waging war on crypto because it is for the most part a scam. Like most of crypto is a scam. Remember, well, I mean, you know it. Like, why does a stock IPO? For two reasons. One reason being they want to amplify their already working product, right? Their goods and services to help the world. Hey, it's good. It's better. It's good for everyone, right? You invest in a working product that already has a business model, a revenue model, and let's amplify it. Okay, that's one. And the second reason why you IPO is to enrich yourself and the insiders that were there before it went public. Well, guess what? Not one crypto has a working product that you could amplify it with more capital. No way. They use all that money for marketing, and now you can see what's happening. Like we've seen like no real innovation. I mean, you had these gimmick inventions, quote unquote, like NFTs. I mean, cool for the future. Well, maybe we'll see. We'll see. But and staking was a massive scam too. And I can't even believe the half-hearted attempt from people to try to defend staking and it was somehow good or worked where they say, well, dude, I mean, I'm staked up, but like, bro, I'm like making money back. I don't care. I'm just holding this. And it's like, the asset that you staked is down 99% in value. It doesn't matter. That's like, hey man, I bought a stock that pays me a dividend, a nice dividend. But sir, the stock you bought is down 99%. So it doesn't matter. They're paying you to lose money. Like they knew going in, I think. I don't think it was in good faith. None
Yeah,
of the staking
it's
stuff.
like buying Venezuelan bonds.
Yeah,
The
there you go,
Venezuelan bonds
man.
are going to pay 100% dividend, but the par value is worthless, and you're not the currency's worthless. So, yeah, and that's
But
what's
that's
happened.
what we got.
That's what we have.
Yeah. Yeah, we got NFTs and staking scams, which is in turn got the regulators all over this space, and there's still just more pain most likely because they just yeah. Again, it's the you had a year, buyers. The buyers had a whole year and they've done nothing. Okay, well then mark it down again. Let's go find some demand because there's no demand here, not near enough. That's the way you have to look at it.
There has to be some kind of event. I mean, to set up or pattern to set up a trigger, and I don't for me it's not there quite yet. Here's Ethereum probably, which is not a bad 1200 to 2000 move, but no real follow through. And I'm kind of wondering if we do.
Yikes, man. That looks so bad, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if we want to come back to these pattern levels here.
Ethereum
Uh,
just looks worse than Bitcoin.
yeah, the last 2 weeks it broke it. I mean, it broke the structure because for a lot of these now, we can do something like this where you get the BAM, bat action magnet move, you busted the B point.
Mm-hmm.
You're holding now, but that's okay. I mean, it doesn't happen all at once. But you
Yeah. Yeah.
B points at a 50, break down eventually, wiggle your way to the 886 over the next 30 to 100 days on that after that breakdown, and that's 1200 Ethereum. Um, you're not going to do the move. You're not even going to get to target one above 2400. You didn't you failed here at 17, 18. So, where's the pattern? Where's the bullish pattern? Like we had that last year, but I would say whatever you're expecting off of that pattern and the pattern we had is probably done. Um, Print me another structure to trigger for the next cycle, but it seems a ways away.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, dude, you hit that B point, and it's like, okay, thank God for the news driven catalyst that you thought was going to be a godsend. Okay, that's what saved Ethereum right there. That's it. And it's like look at it now. It didn't really do anything. It fell on deaf ears by the looks of it. And you're just sitting back in the bad action magnet move. Yeah, to me, it's like different story than Bitcoin. I think it paints a clearer picture of what's happening because Bitcoin made its highest high at 31K, and that was most recently on the daily, right? But then you have Ethereum that made its highest high in April, and that was like up thrusting through 2019 72, a clear inflection point that goes all the way back to 2021. And then you got the formal bearish back test. It was the up thrust and the back test of the up thrust, May 7th and July 15th. And it's rolling over since then. To me, that's price action. I mean, I know people don't really care. Some don't, but like that's indicating less market participants than you saw in April. And it has reconfirmed the validity of an area that should have been an area that is resistance, is resistance again. And the fact that the asset is below 1730, you know what just happened, right? All that happened was that move yesterday pushed the price so we could get a formal bearish back test of 1730. You can't tell me 1730 is not important on this chart. It's unbelievably important. It's like 1700 to 1730. And that's all you've done is confirm that's resistance now.
Yeah, and then even if whatever this is, you're still not expecting anything unless you were to get above that range there. You are really you're months away. You're 2 months away from making the progress you need to even now resolve that downside resistance. It's again, I think it's something where I wanted to see a pattern. I wanted to see a high level pattern like a 5-0 or something trigger that could really get it going, but that's not going to happen. Not after last week, and today it's going to be, the monthly close is it's on Ethereum is I don't think it's even as constructive as, or it's worse than some of these others because of the last several months on Ethereum. Here you've got this kind of breakdown. There's August. I mean, August could not get above the close from last month of 1700. You
Nope.
gotta watch that.
Oh, it
It's
back tested it. Yeah.
yeah,
It's like formal bearish back test. That's the last thing you're gonna do of the month. And then, unfortunately, and again, I'm not saying just because it happened, it's gonna happen again, but September is virtually the worst month for crypto that exists. There's not one month that is more underperforming than September. There hasn't been a positive monthly for crypto since I think 2016, right? Where like the monthly, like the monthly price started in September and ended, and when it's October, where it was positive. So it's been what, like 7 years or more, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I just like that's not good, but I mean, you don't have to like you can ignore that. That's a trend, but it's not technical. It's not technical analysis or anything. It's just reality and something to think about. That you might want to just stay cautious and skeptical going into the worst performing month. But again, and before, hey man, it it bucks the trend and inverses. Yeah, who knows? It just doesn't look great right now.
Yeah, in the last, we're going a monthly chart here on Ethereum is you know 6 months sideways to down, every close lower than the last. You're not there's nothing there that only leads you lower until you can resolve this. This has just been really the opposite. The first 5 months, 6 months since November low. Now the opposite. That's just classic M formation come down. I do think 1200 is about the only thing. You break down further under these lows, especially with the reaction. You had the washout and then bounce back, but you resolve this lower, this consolidation zone, which is here's your downtrend since July, all summer long. Nothing there yet. That's the only place to see it. That's the only place to really be considering anything that could come in, which is a full bad action magnet move. That's daily. And Ethereum had on its weekly chart before the last cycle, where'd it go? It had some patterns. It was daily or weekly. I think it was maybe it was in the daily chart. We had patterns at the low of the last cycle. Yeah, down here we had some bullish patterns. where the pattern's completed long before the move even happened. And that's what's going on here. You got to look at the whole base on Ethereum now that this is the consolidation zone and it's going to want to do more work sideways. If it was going to go, the 1800 mark, 1700 absolute limit should have not been violated.
Been violent, yeah.
You should have been like, you should have been
Yeah,
holding.
and shouldn't have been back tested as resistance, and there's no edge. I mean, all that happened was you got oversold, and now you got all the way up to like almost 50 on the RSI, and now you're right now breaking back into the bearish control zone, sitting at like 39.3. So that means, like, good God, that's exactly what happens when the oscillators look like this. Yeah, you get oversold, like extremely oversold, and you dump, and then you rally, just to get out of oversold, just to become oversold again. And then only after it becomes oversold again would you get some clear, concise, real seller exhaustion, bullish divergence. And you'd probably be wanting to look at that at 420 or 1420, excuse me. And then maybe even the 1200s to complete that M shape. But yeah, just for now, nothing like on Ethereum on the daily is showing or implying that we're going up next. It seems, more likely down, but maybe not like not saying going to zero. Just the price action is kind of telling you maybe 1420 next. Yeah.
Yeah, where's the opportunity?
Yeah.
You've got this thing coming up next year, next spring, and it is a phenomenon. Okay, no doubt. I just don't think you're going to get the opportunity. I think it's going to be big patterns, big signals where it does flush out. I mean, it's not. This isn't the flush out low. Is really with what you're looking for to generate the next cycle. Um, I would have been fine had we been holding up here, especially above that 200 day. Where's
Mm-hmm.
the 200 week? Where's that? Yeah, I mean, this is a 200 week where it's probably
You're like
better.
right at it right now, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's not a great chart, data wise. But you should be making progress, and you should be not this kind of monthly close here. So, um, it is probably something that will take a pattern. We'll take an 886 test like it did last time, and before it really gets going again. And even the stuff that I look at weekly has gone oversold. That would need a few more weeks, which lines up with that Bitcoin chart. That Bitcoin is probably 6 or 8 weeks away from a time perspective. I don't even know, maybe it's 23 or even lower. I just think it's a time thing that line it up. You're going to have plenty of time to take advantage of it. Where a year from now, the cycle's unfolding and everyone's riding their Bitcoin. But where? Where?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, man. It's definitely like not so great variables, and then the sentiment, and then the regulators, and the just the technicals, the lower highs, lower lows on the altcoins. The altcoin market just looks like garbage. If Bitcoin is unclear, it is clear in the S coin market, very clear, like what's going on. And then it's just unlike that on stocks. Like most stock market, like assets on the stock market are incredible. There are some that are showing opportunity right now, that were showing opportunity, and it's just like it's been that way since January. Like for longs, there's just been opportunity presenting itself over and over and over, all over.
Here's
And like,
something. Here's one people always talk about: Link,
oh God,
and
joke.
that it's this or that, but
Give me $1.50. Give me
patterns,
$1.50 on Chainlink.
bearish patterns all over the place. And that was one. I just remember some guys saying, yeah, Link is the next bank, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, whatever type bank. I don't know. It's and none of it none of that narrative. It was probably like the first narrative about crypto I ever heard.
You mean marketing, right? Their marketing team
Yeah, I mean,
spent
the
millions of
story.
dollars to make sure. Yeah, they all have their stories on why they are special, but guess what? They all do the same thing when the bubble ends, when it pops. What they're doing now. Chainlink is just gut wrenching because it's just this no range since May of 2022. But like the most recent discernible events are these loser lower highs, just even more recently, July 24th, that peak. And now you're back below the 200-day moving average. You're at the lower end of the channel range. And you've tested $5 once, okay? And now you're heading back down to test it again. And if the buyers fail that test, my God, look left and understand like why 150 is such a good target below $5.
Yeah, every time it gets to 9, it's dumped and put in a lower low. I mean, you're
Yeah,
trading.
momentum shifted in here. So it's like the sellers reassumed control on the 24th. That's what it looks like.
What's that spike low? Actually this year was even below that prior low. It was under 5. And it's it really is surprising because that just is definitely something that I haven't, I thought would work out. And hold on one second, go away. I just watching the charts versus what you hear on crypto Twitter and other places of like, okay, I just, you could trade that small range if you want. There's a lot of other stocks you could do that with. If this is going to be some kind of revolutionary asset, technically, I don't. Again, I just don't. I don't see it, and I don't. There's.
It is like, let's see the composite operator. Uh, let's find his signature on the chart, which this is not a Wyckoff accumulation schematic going on by the looks of it, in my opinion. I mean, nah, I think there's still air left in the bubble, and $1.50 on Chainlink would that really wouldn't even deflate all of it actually, but
There you go.
most of it. I think 150 would be like a better target. Yeah, Chainlink, just to the US dollar on Coinbase, you're going to get more data than that chart where you'll be able to see like the inflection points or just like the peaks and valleys from 2019, 2020.
Yeah. Where is that? There you go.
Oh, it's so ugly, man, on the weekly. Oh my god, dude. Yep, just this like how many times the seller's going to fail to break 763 before they completely give up. Like they should be giving up soon by the looks of it. It's just garbage. Running out of time.
Yeah, I mean, remarkable. 100x, 30 something cents to $50 is remarkable, and now all the way back down. Um,
Yeah, why not 150? Yep, it'd still be up exponentially from December 2018's low. Even if it went to 150, it'd be up ungodly amounts.
yeah, one or two more. Here's this Matic again. Patterns, but no move, deeper tests. All of these have deeper numbers to go before I would look at them. I would want to see some kind of confirmation dot or the other ways that I look at stuff like that. But you see a lot of static stuff going on back down at even as low as 30 cents down here. That's another fan favorite for so many people. Um, that it just, why are we jumping in now? And we're not. I'm not. But
Yeah.
why would you? And I again, because it's just incredible to hear people getting into things, and the peppies of the world or whatever. I just, because I know there's a lot of traders here, a lot of people that are attracted to crypto. I'm just gonna say, from what I do, what Mitch does, I think it's pretty clear what our message is. Like, it's not here. I posted on Twitter even before the grayscale thing that it's not in a place technically where I would say, yeah, you have confirmed what you need to confirm to start looking at the halving cycle. So I'd love,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah, I mean, like Matic, like 30 cents, but let's be real, probably 4 cents. Yeah, 4 pennies. That's like where there's actual return to the mean situation. I mean, where you get down to levels where there's actually support really built for a substantial amount of time from May of 2019 until it finally broke in January 2021. Yeah, it's just like 2018. Like people are like, oh, it can't get that much worse. Oh wait, yes, it can. It can and probably will. And then there are all these cryptos out there that are showing these really nice extension patterns that
Mm-hmm.
are currently, I think, in their C to D wave. Like, let me find one in my daily chart. Like I think Algorand, a great example of an asset that made an 88% retrace on B. It's a deep crab that is not at the 1.618 yet, but is working on it.
Mm.
And in fact, it's working on. Wow, Algorand just went up and tested this 2020 low as resistance and it's rolling over. And guess what's going to happen today if all stays the same or lower in price? It's going to be the lowest daily candle close ever on Algorand, at least on the Binance chart. So it's
Yeah,
just like this, everyone. Yeah.
yeah, and again, there is a crab pattern even on the short term that materialized in the last 30 days, but just a reaction sideways all the way back down to 7. I mean, there's just nothing there. It's every reaction gets sold. I think you gotta just dial it back and say, okay, until Bitcoin can assert itself, that people are flooding into there. These other things is probably, it's like altcoins are probably, the bankrupt.coms of the
Yep.
sector.
Yep. Absolutely. And it's just there's just not enough pain. I think there's like these levels are being defended like Phantom. I mean, like yeah, 18 to 20 cents is being defended. Uh, but at this point, it's like if you look left and understand, once 18.5 cents breaks, it's like an easy 69% downside to 5 cents. There's nothing there, and if there's so many that look like this, and the trend is your friend, which is bearish. It's like secular downtrend for now. I mean, for real, because of the where the price was and where it is now, and how it's just these utter failures and these attempts for over a year to do much of anything to rival the previous highs. It's like with secular, and so it's like you're back down to these same prices you were at about it almost virtually a year ago, and just now no more reactions, no more price action, just sitting here, very little demand, like no demand, just enough to where there were limit orders set up there to prop the price up. And what happens when that demand's gone again and there's nothing left uh, but you know 68, 69% downside before you get to the next inflection point, which 2019, 2020. It's just awful.
Here's another one. And this is when I see this, and I called this all the way up here at 70 that this would do the return move. And I'm kind of glad to hear that Coinbase is going to you're going to be able to short crypto because I think that's kind of the move for these return retest patterns. If we know these are all reactive moves, then we should be looking for, oh, excuse me, we should be looking
Oh my
for,
god, it looks so bad.
yeah,
Comp.
the full rollover and retest, figure out a 50x move on that, but play it back into these zones because they all have popped and rolled. And I think that January move that a lot of those did are going to
Technical.
come right back
It was
down.
all technical. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all technical, man. It was they were like destroyed, but they were hitting inflection. I mean, they were hitting pattern completion zones, price reversal zones. I mean, there were a handful were like incredible by the book trade setups, and they played out, but they just performed adequately. They did not outperform. They went up to one or two of the three targets. None of my trade setups, I think, hit the third target. So like, and now they've rolled over and they're back to entry, and it's like 8 months later. That's not what you're looking. That means like it is not reversing its trend to the upside, right? If we were really cycle reversing, then we'd be hitting the third target of these trade setups. They'd be continuing. Then they'd be creating new bullish consolidation patterns, and you'd be able to start fresh trade setups on those longs, right? Way higher, but that's not happening at all. No demand.
Yeah. Looking at compound, this is just It's an incredible chart. And I was looking at this at 30, 33 or so, and it went from 33 to 80 pretty quick, right back down because we have 1 and 2 and 3 patterns. But this is still another 2 of 2 where you'd have to come all the way back down, on it. And I don't, again, anything it's just classic reaction behavior. Not even it was a type 1. Actually, I gotta say, off of the crab pattern, we did hit a type 1, so this would finally be the type 2, but it's lower. Anyone in the chat know when Coinbase is going to go to allowing bearish future, or just futures in general? If anybody knows that, let me know.
Uh,
Do you know
yeah,
that?
didn't they get like approved or something, but it hasn't rolled out yet or something?
Yeah, I would love to see that. I'd love to something like this, or Bitcoin Cash, or any of those other ones where just short them back into oblivion, because they're gonna roll back down. I mean,
Yeah, comp's got about 28 to 35% downside to see the bottom of that range again. So that's
agree,
like massive. Yep,
agree.
massive downside.
Yeah, yeah, and that's Bitcoin Cash too. I think Bitcoin Cash is probably either that or Binance Coin. Those are probably the two that have, I would say, the most likely possibility of going from, say, 200 and change back to 80 or $90. I mean, Bitcoin Cash it's just a matter of time as this zigzags down to come all the way back to retest from a pattern perspective, framework, kind of analytical thought. Yeah, it works like that. It was a first test shark, and yeah, it's got to come all the way back down to satisfy whatever it was established here, and that makes sense. And then the Binance thing here, trying to flash a bullish shark here, but a little bearish downtrend at the moment. But this breaks, then you break under 185, 175. There's nothing. I mean, you're that close on these where maybe that's the final part of this. Maybe that's the final. Maybe this is all a character story. It's Sam Fraud, and it's guys like CZ need to go down, and even the BitBoy character, you know,
Yeah, the promoters of the scams,
and the
the
promoters.
influencers. Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was interesting that they accused him. It's pretty serious stuff, and I saw it. Someone forwarded it to me, where it's like, yeah, okay, we got to let this guy go. He's got some issues and abuse issues, and then he counters with a drug test of his own. I was like, yeah, wow, okay, that basically shuts them up. But that's the kind of I think chaos you actually want to see to get this industry to shake out the nonsense from 2 3 years ago, and so it's still shaking it out.
Yeah, yeah, we're in the midst of it right now, with Richard Schuler getting accused of fraud. To
Richard Hart.
yeah, bad actors. No, it's Schuler because that's his real name. He changed his name because he got caught committing fraud years ago. Why no one changes their name?
Get out of town.
Yeah, look it up, man. There's articles on it. Yeah, like people think he's like a religious leader. He's not. He's yeah. But whatever. Like I mean, like wasting my breath on this guy. It was so arrogant. Just like like he's like everything that's wrong with crypto, like or everything that's wrong with like people in general. Like
Yeah,
to act
finance.
that way, it's not even finance, dude. That guy's just nah. That's not finance.
Yeah.
He's like who people on Wall Street hate. What like designer clothes, flashing, bling, like acting like. I mean,
There's some hedge
act
fund guys that
criminal
act.
for
There are some hedge fund guys that act like that, believe it or not. So, and they're
yeah.
total asses. But I think we saw that a mile away. I didn't know that he had a former name or whatever. But hey, it was in the patterns. It was in the patterns where even that amazing reaction off the January low total. So he's behind this. He ran this. He ran this from a penny up to 11 cents.
51 cent.
Well, that before, of course, but He's the only guy
Yeah, they could do that.
that
Yep.
could have run this 1,000%, and then once he started dump
Offloaded. Yep.
out, for him, he's probably looking at this like, every penny is X million dollars. So if he got it from a penny back to 10 cents, hey, that's good enough for me, because he could probably see the end, and then pulled some other scam of like, hey, give me your hex for this other worthless garbage. And then you see, what happens, then it gets busted, and then the supporters, I don't know. Guys, I went through this with the .com. I really did. I went through this with the pets.com and the everything.com, where, a bunch of Silicon Valley geeks all started a .com. I mean, I was a geek that started a .com in 1998, where if I could start a website, anybody could, but I just didn't have enough sense to try to IPO it on no revenues. But it has all the markings of the same .com kind of crash, washout. This might be a little different because the industry, how much use, I mean, other than the top few companies that handle payments and maybe some blockchain crypto gaming stuff, like, what are these people going to do? What are they going to do with these coins? The Doge of the world, I mean, there's Doge. If Elon Musk doesn't put that into X, Twitter, or whatever, that thing's done. They're all done.
Well, the fact that like X got approved to what facilitate crypto on the platform, and nothing happened, and again, no price action, no bump. If any bump, nothing. Just another lower high. I mean, that you got that. That was like a couple days ago, a few days ago. Same day as the SEC stuff or the grayscale ETF news. You're just now below 6.5 cents after someone quietly offloading their position from February to April to now July, lower highs consecutively. So that's context. The air, I mean, I think 4.2 cents is at least the next level because of the memes. But then eventually, if you want the full on bubble to pop, I mean, at least 2 cents, but really 0.63, 6.3 tenths of 1 cent is like reverting to the mean here. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it could even function anymore. You've just got holding those. That's a zombie crypto holding
they all
there.
are. Almost
Yeah.
everyone is a zombie crypto. Yep. They do nothing. They were created to enrich the people that created these coins to list them. Then they spent tremendous amount of money on marketing, as it is the future, blah blah blah. At the mania phase, the dumb money was here, and then once the dumb money buys in, they are the exit liquidity. That's why you have all these massive blow off tops. And I think CZ was, also. I mean, he was the composite operator probably for all these. And probably the one that rugged all of them. Them like CZ on top of the the composite man.
Yeah, I didn't ever like trading on Binance. I had money on Binance, and I felt like it was, not, it wasn't a very, it, I found myself getting into drawdown too quickly. And I would take not huge positions, but more than, more than 1,000 or a couple $1,000, and I would find myself quickly at a loss, feeling like I was getting pressured out of my position on things. Where it's like it just was fishy. It was fishy. I don't know. Here's Coinbase. Coinbase
Looking good, man, actually.
sitting in a zone here where, could not get above 117. That's the number. Your bigger numbers are still down here, hop level at 48. Some confirmation recently, 75. I thought it could get above 117. That could start something, but the rejection recently, nope, nope. I'm gonna
Well, I
wait.
look at this like Wyckoff accumulation. I think the composite operator, you can read a signature, right now as breadcrumbs, and yeah, that was the sign of strength, was that false breakout, in mid July, and now you're going through what would be considered the backup. It's just this last pullback, last liquidity grab before really going to the markup phase of 150. I think would be your target, but yeah, this hasn't happened yet. And really, I mean, $83 is I think the top of the range. See, I think like August 2022 was an upthrust, just like we saw in July. If you look at where the actual touches are of the range, the first one after the selling climax, May 11th, 2022, you had May 31st, 2022. So from that low to high, that is where the trading range was established, and everything correlated after that to where you have the test in February 3rd of this year, and then again in March 20 of this year too. So to me, that's like the range between $41 and $83. Everything is anything above that is just like price action, outside of the range. So I'm optimistic until $48 gets taken out. Any low that gets put in that's higher than $48 just articulates more accumulation from whoever's out there doing it right now.
I think you got to hold that. I think you got to hold that uptrend. I think it's more like 60, maybe 55, 60, but you got to hold this
200 moving
uptrend
average, yeah.
with 200. I mean, there's a couple of interesting things, and I do show you one or two more things. I'm going to split. Some of the miners on this most recent pullback put in bullish patterns, bat patterns, whatever, at some critical retracement numbers. Hasn't confirmed yet in terms of turning around any kind of like real RSI or any HSI that gave me full confirmation. But that's one. That's Bit Digital. I think it was Mara was another one. Real nice pattern. There you go, right off the top.
Hive, yeah.
So we'll see. It probably needs a little more work back in here, but the last pullback, which was pretty steep, 40, 50% pullback almost, trying to print something. I think it's like the rest of it, still early on that, but I'm looking at that. The other one that I find is kind of the sleeper, where I haven't done anything yet on it, but Overstock, kind of a sleeper crypto. It's a shark to 5.0 here, and we just finished it. So I'm thinking, looking here around 25 for that, to at least maybe do some kind of reaction move back to 33. We'll see. But the most recent correction set some things up that, all right, I'll look. They're early, haven't confirmed yet, but I wonder if they're going to go a little deeper. If they're going to come in and take a little bit more time now as Bitcoin does whatever. Because again, the whole thing with Bitcoin that if it started this week, if Bitcoin gave me some kind of confirmation where, and it's not because it's down, it's getting a little clipped. It's down 4% today.
Yeah.
Would be like, where is it? Where's the arrow? Come on. Regardless,
Yeah, Overstock though.
yeah.
Wow, man, that 886.
Sorry, what happened here? Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, you can see how deep we're now. We're deeper oversold than we were. I wrote that post 2 days ago. Sunday, what was it? 3 days ago. That we're back down in there. Look at what we're doing here. Where we're already rolling back down. That pop and roll on the weekly. That's looking nasty. Listen, we could close under, even a close under last week's low. That would trigger it. For me, that would then say, yeah, maybe September slides down lower to try to resolve. I don't know, finally get this HSI out of the way. But you need to do something like this to get out there. You need to come here and pop out. I don't know where the heck my arrow went to. I think it's that one. There it is. So, but that's now with this, and I'll look on Sunday. That's probably not going to happen until well into next week. So you're still lower with that kind of a move. Not
Yeah,
what you want to
man.
see for an ETF inception.
No, that was like what everyone had been waiting for, and it is now all those just about every. Let's see. I'll be specific here. Since that news announcement, at least at the lows today, Bitcoin had given everything up but 0.65% wiped out. So that means nothing happened.
There you
Like,
go.
virtually, we're back to where we were before. Yep.
Right on back down.
And it's not even over. We got 2 more hours on this 4-hour candle.
Right on back down. Yeah, and this is the 4-hour chart from that. So already failed for me. 27 was a failure on that crab. Looking for something, 28 to 27 for me was it. So keep your eyes peeled. Mitch, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to catch myself
Yeah, man.
2 more hours for the day here. Appreciate
For
it.
sure.
Am I going to come on tonight for you?
Yeah.
I got
Yeah, man.
I got an hour and a beer.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. Yeah, we can do that and have a beer. Yep.
Good. All right, guys. I'm going to jump over. I'll be with Mitch 7:30 ish, I guess, or so, 8 o'clock,
Yep.
whatever works, and with a beer in
That's
hand,
cool.
and we can continue this conversation then.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me on, Scott, man. I really appreciate it. And we'll get back in the swing of doing these things more often.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll line something special up for October. See how it goes.
Yeah, man. Just keep me posted on how you're feeling. And I'll do anything we can.
I will. I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Mitch. Thanks for coming out today.
Yeah, man. God bless, and I'll see you tonight.
Alrighty. We'll do.
All right, later,
All right.
Scott.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Big thanks to Mitch Ray. Again, get over to Mitch Ray TA over on YouTube. Okay. Before I clear out, how about we do one more gold membership? GOLD. First person to type in GOLD will give you a gold membership that will enable you to get to the seminar on the 14th of September. Special thanks to Brad Fisher. Hey, Brad, how are you today? Hope everything's going well with you as well. Really great to be back with Mitch, and go over and join Mitch tonight. We'll have a beer together online. So Jans Briava, Jans, you win. Parveen, you've won too many times already, my man. Jans Briava, you win the gold membership. Please get over to harmonictrader.com. Again, the big news that I have, so get over to Harmonic Trader basic membership page, okay, and get with the TradingView program. I think everyone should be with TradingView, and then maybe one other of the platforms, especially if you're home, day trading, eSignal, MetaTrader. They're great secondary, big platforms, but everyone, you can run it on your phone with the TradingView, all of that. Get to HPC at SR-analyst. Also, wanted to mention, I didn't mention that we also have the Thinkorswim platform, and we just opened up monthly trials on that and monthly subscriptions for that. So if you're on Thinkorswim, you want to access that, we can do that. All right. Really appreciate it. And what I'm looking for right now, I told Mitch I want to get out of here because I'm looking at a possible trade right now on the queues on a 5-minute. Just take a look here. While we were talking, we had a 5-minute bat pattern. Let's look for that return phase. Look at this. I mean, it's beautiful. Ugh. Look at that. Beautiful type 1. Let's see if we get the type 2 later today. We've been range bound most of the last few weeks, so I'm not surprised to see us bouncing, $1.50, $2 maximum, but that's a nice bat pattern on the 5-minute. If you're looking for something today, check that. And listen, we'll be back on Tuesday, 12 Eastern. No session on Monday, everybody. So come on back on Tuesday, 12 noon Eastern, and join me tonight with Mitch over at Mitch Ray TA. And so for those hangers on, now I'm going to give away a gold membership and a V3. So first person to type gold V3, you win the gold membership and the book. Okay, deluxe Thursday giveaway. Let me know. Gold V3, who's going to be the first one? Gold V3, gold V3. Okay. Elijah's World. John, you've already won one time. So Elijah's World, you won. Oh, wait, no. I need somebody that didn't win. And and is already with us. Gold V3. John, you won already. Drip dry tie dye. I don't. It's got to be gold V3. Rec Law. You won already too. Brain freeze. He didn't type gold V3. GLD V3. Visuals by Vlad. All right. AJ Birch. You win because I don't think you won yet. All right. Sorry guys, you can't have won already. I've said that, so I'm gonna nix you if you've already won. And if I find out that you won, I'll get you. Anyway, thanks everybody. Listen, join me on Tuesday and get with the software. Get over on Harmonic Trader. Join me with Mitch tonight.